I have a confession.
A giant martini. Oh my God, tell me everything.
So we started the show today, and as trained professionals, we started talking about things, and we realized that we had no confessions today because we have too many confessions.
I don't even know where to start.
There's too many secrets that we're keeping. And my biggest confession is actually I am so far behind this month. And I think every esthetician out there who has been like working, most of us started again in May, I think. And anybody out there who's just started working again and is like, oh my God, I forgot what it was like to work and live life and then work a million hours feels me. I literally cannot seem to manage my time in any way, shape, and form at all. I just am because I have an online business now and a physical business, and both of them are like the same amount of time, kind of. I have zero time, and so that's my confession.
It's work, man. It's work. I think, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like I got two speeds. It's either like 100% fast, like work so super like focused. And then after that, I'm just like, I can't, my brain doesn't work anymore.
I know.
But there's still shit to be done.
I know. We have so much cool stuff coming up. I'm very impressed by both Alex and myself. We've got some very cool things happening and in the works. And I can't wait to talk to you about all of them as we continue. I know that I have a bunch of stuff I'm getting to roll out in August that I'll be able to talk to you about, hopefully. And Alex, you're going to be launching again, aren't you? You launch? Yeah, I know.
Just moving my eyebrows for our just audio listeners.
Yeah. So it's very exciting times for everyone. I hope everyone out there is also having a very good summer, good business, learning a lot from the show, and about to have a wonderful, wonderful start to their vacation time, because we had a show about vacations, and I heard from a bunch of you that you actually have planned vacation this year, which is great because nobody did anything last year.
No, sat around. Although I keep thinking that too, of like, it's like really hot right now. And this time last year we were doing our, like our urban hiking where my husband and I would go on like long walks and stuff like that. Cause you couldn't do anything. And so I'm still like yearning for a simpler time. You know what I mean?
Or it's
like
not
back when I churned my own butter.
When it's not 1,000,000 degrees and you're on fire.
Yeah.
It was like that too last year. You just forgot.
I know.
Short memory. California's always on fire. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember last year, but I think only the parts I want to remember, know, because that's like trauma for you.
That is trauma for you.
I don't remember all the like working too much and like crying and being afraid to go to the grocery store stuff.
I know. Well, let's hope that we enjoy this summer and it turns out awesome.
I would like some ice cream. That would be great.
That's correct. All right, guys, let's get started. Hi, I'm Sybil Solon. I'm an esthetician and spa owner.
And hi, I'm Alex Ellis. I'm a body nerd and wellness expert, and we are business besties.
And bosses. Running your own business, it's hard.
But we're terrible employees, so we're figuring it out.
I've already figured it all out. So that's why we're here to share everything we know about what it takes to make six figures and beyond.
Be brutally honest about what works and what totally sucks.
A bunch of it totally sucks. Let's get started.
Every time, man, that gets me. Welcome back to Skinfessional. On today's show, we are talking about Yelp, and specifically beating the Yelp algorithm and making it your B word.
Yeah. And the number one thing you need to be asking your clients to win at Yelp, and there is a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not just going to be blanketly asking everybody for Yelp reviews on the iPad we have sitting in our waiting room. No, we are not, because we are going to be strategic. We're going to have a system, because when it comes to algorithms, I know everybody gets all hot and bothered about the algorithm and man, the algorithm. I do it too. Okay, I get it. But you can either complain or learn how to play the game, right? It's like, don't hate the player or hate the game.
Hate the game, hate the player.
That's relevant.
Hate it.
Whatever.
Hate it.
But you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. So I think we all agree that Yelp is the mafia. They're horrible. They're wretched. And we've all sat around being like, I hate Yelp. But like at the same time, they get us a ton of clients. They're one of the most important parts of your business. If you're growing your business, if you've been in business a while, I've done everything there is possible with Yelp. So if you have questions about Yelp, send them my way. I mean, DM me, slide in, because I've pretty much done it. I've paid for their advertising. I've paid for extra advertising. I paid for a little bit of advertising. I've been with them and off again with them. And I know the games. I know how to play the game.
Just curious too, at the top of this when you were paying for ads and then you stopped paying for ads, did that like fuck up your Yelp?
No, it did not. So actually the best time I ever had with Yelp was actually not paying for ads at all. So I actually find, for me, depending on your business, paying for ads may not help you at all, because depending how niche you are, Yelp is not designed for like the niche. They really aren't. They're a blanket. They're kind of a blanket. So if you're super niche, they're not really, in my opinion, going to help you get kind of the niche client you're looking for. But if you have a really empty book and you're just kind of like, I need clients, or like I'm an acne specialist and I need clients, kind of a big empty book, then yeah, they probably can help you. But if you're like, I specialize in barrier repair and hard cases, and I only have clients who I can see if they book 6 weeks in advance, those are not Yelp clients. Yelp clients are like, I want you now, tomorrow.
Yeah. So how did you balance that? Like, I guess that urgency too with Yelp, because I know that you kind of do both.
You have to understand that Yelp is used by every single person. So there's a really good, so what made me finally decide that I really wanted to play in the Yelp sandbox and like mess around with Yelp and understand Yelp, was I was sitting in a Mind Body Online conference, and it was years ago. I think it was like 2011. And they do, at the time at least, they do really good Q&A, which is their testing. And they were essentially testing a new program, and they would sit people down and like, show us how you get to your page. And they were testing a new app, and they're, how do you get here? What do you do? And they just very blasely said, and then every single person went to Yelp, and then they just moved along. And I like raised my hand. I'm like, wait, did you say that all of your 500 person study group went to Yelp? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so check that in my brain, as every single person in a 500 person study at some point went to Yelp.
I mean, even like my mom uses Yelp. Like everybody uses Yelp because it's become like ubiquitous from the consumer standpoint.
Right. So even if you don't find, like, even if you're not like, I didn't use Yelp to 100% find exactly what I looked for, you at some point checked that person out on Yelp. You're like, I found them on Google, and then I still checked out the credentials on Yelp.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
At some point, you went to Yelp to look at Yelp, whether to find the person, check their credentials, look at their reviews. You hit Yelp. So that is why it's important to really understand Yelp. And yeah, they're the mafia, but they've built themselves up for that reason. You have to play in the game with Yelp. You pay to play with them. So I found, for me, the best way to handle Yelp was to actually pay. They have like a super minimal amount of money that you can pay them. I think for me, it was like $125. And that way you got basic, it's like a super basic plan. And you got like to control your images, because if you don't control your images, they will stick some gangster image on the front. It's the worst picture. They'll just put the worst picture they possibly can up, and you will show up on their app. And you do not show up on their app if you do not pay.
So that would be like the sponsored things up at the top, or even just in the regular search?
No sponsors. Just you're just paying essentially to be like available on their app. That's it.
Oh, because like when you're on Yelp, there's also like, it'll highlight people who are sponsored. Yeah, which is not the same thing.
No, those are paid. Those are paid ads. So if you're paying for advertising, you'll show up on those other, like those ads. So you can pay like $300 a month, $500 a month. That's for paid advertising. But if you just want to even just pay for Yelp, it's just their basic rate of like, hey, you're in the Yelp universe, and you're allowed to like use Yelp and be catered to Yelp. Then you pay like a certain base price. And for me, like I said, I believe it was $125, and it was $125 for years and years. And that was kind of the best for me, because you could control, you had like a video, and you could control your picture at the top, and you got to show up on their app. And remember, if somebody clicks on a Yelp page within a website, it will automatically open the Yelp app. And a lot of people just use the Yelp app, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And if you will not show up on that Yelp app, if you do not pay that base price, you just don't exist.
I
Unless
didn't
they
realize
search for
that.
you directly.
Did not realize that. So, if someone's looking for like, facial
You won't show up
near
on the app.
me, you won't show up.
You won't show up on the
Okay.
app.
So,
And that's important to realize if you're actually ever searching for food or something, if you're in the app and you're like, that's weird, this shop that I'm standing right next to, it's not showing up on Yelp. Well, they probably don't pay to play.
right. That's why I now have started, because I realized that I'll do like a first cursory glance at Yelp. If nothing like kind of like tickles my fancy, then I'll go over to Google and like do a search too. And then once I find what I want on Google, then I'll go search for that specifically
That's
back
right.
on Yelp to read the reviews.
That is correct. That is correct. And this is something important to realize about like how the different kind of mediums work. But
Yeah.
Yelp is still the place that people go.
It's very true. Okay, so we know that we need to be on Yelp. We probably should be paying some money to Yelp. I have a Yelp page for my business that has 3 reviews. One is my mother, and they're all from 2017. So I clearly need to up my Yelp game.
Yeah.
So what are some things? What are some things about reviews that we should be doing? Like, should I just like send an email out to my clients, like, give me a review?
No, God, no. So if you've ever been on Yelp and you're like, oh, hey, there are all these hidden reviews, or like maybe you've had a business and you're like, all my reviews aren't showing up. So Yelp has an algorithm, and I'll be honest with you, I don't understand how they make decisions 100%, but I will tell you, I know a couple things about their algorithm. Yelp likes to say that they have an algorithm that like stops people from, posting reviews that are, not adequate or are untrustworthy. And how they kind of do that is they look at people who are, reviewers who don't have a lot of reviews, who don't review often. And they also look at what they think are reviews that have come up a lot from the same place. So the first thing that will happen is that you'll, have a new business and you'll be like, everyone review me, please, right now. That is the worst thing to do, because what's going to happen is you'll have this influx of new reviews. Yelp's algorithm will nab them and say, you are buying reviews from a bot. Okay, so you are a bot and you're buying these reviews, and these are all fake reviews, and they'll just start hiding those reviews. So you kind of want to slow roll your reviews coming out. So you want to ask maybe like 2 to 3 reviews a week. And I know it seems lame, but when you first start, get a few reviews a week. That's what you're looking for. So the first, like when you first open the page, you can actually get like 4 to 5 reviews in a day. But after that, you have to kind of slow it down. And the longer that page has been open, the slower it has to go, because they're like, we know the game. We know.
Right away too, I'm thinking like, well, you need to have a system in place and a process so that you aren't always thinking about this every single day of like, what are we gonna do for my Yelp reviews? So I know we were talking about this earlier, but like, when would be a good time to like reach out to people to ask them for a review?
So what I like to do is I like to pick people's birthdays, and I send out a birthday email. And I literally send out a birthday email like, happy birthday, here's your like discount or whatever. Also, I noticed that you've been with me and maybe you love me, and here's a way to get a discount. And I always offer a baller discount on something I call referring me a stranger. And referring me a stranger is referring me like a Yelp or a Google or a whatever, a Trustpilot, wherever you want to have reviews located. And I always offer them 3 places that they can review for me. Yelp is always at the top, because people will often pick the top. But some people, they're like, I don't have a Yelp account. I don't ever want to go to Yelp. So that's fine. You want to give them other options as well. But Yelp is at the top. And so I give them the option of these 3 different places. And I say, hey, I'd love for you to review me send me a stranger. And they will pick one of those, and then I give them like a 50% off discount, or I give them like a gift bag, and it's a good gift bag, guys. It's got like full-size products. You could do like an upgrade that's really amazing, but it's got to be really good. And within that email, I also do a little blurb that has information to start that review, as well as a picture of like my space.
the blurb is like a prompt.
The
Like
blurb is a prompt. It's to start the review.
Finish this sentence.
Yeah. So and the blurb is based on SEO words that I want in my review.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's something like I love Sybil and I love Sybil. She's the best in Burbank. I see her because blank.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because some people have trouble writing reviews, and it's a great way to help them kind of start a review.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I do that for like testimonials too. Of like, let me just prompt you, because then it's so much easier to write from like that kernel of an idea.
And it's important to know that every single month, it's a different prompt and a different picture.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want the same words and you don't want the same picture from everyone.
Right. And like, what kind of picture are you providing?
So you want a picture of like your spa space, the outdoor space, the spa space, something, because a picture will help the algorithm think, oh, they've posted a picture, therefore they must have really been there. It makes it more real.
Yeah. So I'm thinking too, like everybody I hope is using some client database that probably has the ability to email. So you could set up an automatic email to go out for birthdays. And then in your process and your calendar, just remind yourself once a month to go in and update that prompt. And then for the picture, it does take a little bit more work, but you could say, reviews always are best if you have a picture. If you don't have one, just hit reply and let me know, and I'll send you one. Because the other thing about that would be the metadata on the picture. So like the information, the geotag of that picture will be more new.
Right.
Than
That's
just like
great
picture.
Great.
And then you could also, one person needs, maybe you take like 2 pictures that day or whatever, and then you could send it to whoever else is asking for it at that time.
Absolutely. And you can do pictures of like your spa menu, a little crystal, like give me anything of your spa, like anything in the area. Pictures of the outdoor space is actually always good, like your signage outside, parking lot. Like it seems lame, but like any pictures of your space are so useful to people.
Well, yeah, as like a new person too, I totally look at Yelp to be like, okay, where am I going? What does it look like? And then that helps them know that they're in the right place.
Exactly. I mean, I was just at my sushi place the other day and I noticed that they had a new special menu and I took pictures of all of it and I posted it on Yelp, and it's posted actually for me.
Okay, I did that too for like a favorite like cafe we go to for brunch. They had no pictures in their menu, or all the pictures were like from far away, or it was an old menu. So I just went and literally took a bunch of pictures and uploaded it. And I get a bunch of bumps on that from that picture. It's so funny.
Yeah, totally.
So why not just say review me on Yelp? Is it because not everybody has Yelp?
So there are a couple of reasons. One is some people hate Yelp. Some people are like anti-Yelp, and you never want to make somebody like review a place that they hate. 2, not everybody has Yelp. Absolutely. And 3, some people are more like, I like Google more. I'd rather go to Google, or like they've already reviewed you on Yelp and maybe you'd like to get a review from somewhere else. So you don't want to like limit their ability to review you from wherever. But I will say that you can also put a thing in there as if you haven't reviewed me, if you've already reviewed me on Yelp, you can always update your review. I'd really appreciate that too. Because an updated review every year is very useful.
Yeah, that's a really great point, especially for a client that you've had for a long time.
Exactly. Exactly. And the updated review, though a review on Google is great. Now, it's also important to know that you want them to only review you in that one place, because a copy and pasted review in multiple places is a useless review. Google will come through, and they have a thing called Panda, and they come through in the SEO and they're like, this is all the same crap and it's bots and we don't want it. And they just hide everything. And Yelp will also see it. They have like an algorithm that goes through and they see on the web that it's the same review posted, and they then hide it too. And they're like, this is bots, forget it.
Yeah. Well, so what about if it is somebody's first time reviewing? Like, is there anything that they can do to ensure that it shows up on Yelp?
They can make sure that, you want to, 2 things. It's fine if they've signed up for Yelp and it's their very first time. So they're like, I signed up for Yelp and you're my first review. They're like, yay. Yelp's like, I'm so excited. This is great. And then they continue to review new places. They have to continue. You can't be their only review. That review will be hidden within a week.
Right.
Simple as
Super
that.
true. And then also, if you have everybody review from your waiting room, what's the problem with that?
Yeah. So what will happen is everybody reviews from your waiting room. They see it as the IP address is the same. And if you're not technical, I think we're all kind of there at this point now where we all know what IP address is. It's just the computer systems know that it's all where your Wi-Fi and stuff is. And so
Yeah. So this is especially if they're on your Wi-Fi.
yeah, they're on your Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
right? So they all know that this is what's happening. They all see your IP address is the same, and then they're like, okay, well, we know that you're in the same place, so it must be you, and you're just writing a bunch of fake reviews. And I'll be honest with you, this has happened to me from people who are on the same like network in the same community. So people from Studio City who live next to each other, all of them have been, limited, and they were all like tagged because they were all on the same like Cox server or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, damn it. So you can't plan for everything, but it is something to think about when you're kind of looking at your list. You can be like, you know what, those people all live really close together. Or I know that that's a husband and wife. I'm not going to send those at the same time.
Right. What about the check-ins? I know sometimes it happens with restaurants. They'll be like, check in and get like a free pastry or whatever. Is that different?
They're fine, but don't have them write reviews for you at the same time unless like you have one review and that's it. So they can write one review, but if you have everybody coming in on the same day writing reviews, that's the problem.
So like check-ins and reviews are weighted differently.
Completely differently. Check-ins are fine. They don't care. Check-ins are different.
Yeah.
Check-ins aren't reviews.
Which actually, it might be something to consider a check-in because that's also activity on your Yelp page. And I know I'm a sucker for like a free drink at a restaurant for a check-in because it's like the pressure is so much lower.
Yeah, I mean, I had check-ins for a while. I definitely did people check-in. Most of my clients were just like, "Why am I checking in?" I'm like, "Because you get like a free lip gloss," and they're like, "Whatever."
Yeah, so maybe like a short-term campaign, but not something like long-term.
I mean, it definitely depends. I mean, check-ins can help. And then like one of my clients is like, "I'm the governor of your space," and I was like, "Good for you,"
because they did it every time.
Yes,
that's hilarious.
Absolutely. Yelp is just one of those places that you want to make sure that you kind of like you kind of pet and coddle because they can make and break a business, especially if you are a new business. When people ask me, they're like, what should I do to help grow my business? And I'm like, use Yelp. Yelp will help you build a business like nothing else.
Okay, so we talked about this before, but I want to make sure we hit on it again. What we should absolutely not do is go send an email out and ask for Yelp reviews so that we get a flood of reviews coming in at the same time. Not a great idea.
No.
So we talked about sending it on their birthdays. If you're like a little bit more eager and you want to get it going out now, like how many people should we be emailing in each batch?
So I tend to do no more than like 15, 20. And you really are going to get about 5 reviews. So 5 reviews is like kind of like the magic number. You can get a little bit more, but like any more than like 7, you start pushing the boundaries. 5 is kind of the magic land. What will happen if you send out those 15 to 20 emails is, Alex, what happens when people get emails?
Well, I mean, the percentage of people who actually open your emails, like 22 is like good.
Right.
30 if you're like, whoa,
Right. The percentages of somebody actually open those emails, even if it's a birthday email. So the reason why I do birthday emails is because, Alex, when you get a birthday email, what is the likelihood of you opening the birthday email, though?
Oh, I open all of them because I know that I'm going to get something good for my birthday.
That's right. And that is actually why I do birthday emails for my Yelp requests, because they are going to open them more likely than not. Because they're like, I'm getting something free for my birthday. That's the only reason I'm on the stupid list in the first place.
That's so freaking true. Oh my gosh.
So, So it's more likely they're going to open the stupid birthday email than any of the other emails you send. So birthday emails are good. Even so, they're not that likely to actually do the thing you ask, even if they're great customers, just because it's hard and they don't know what to write and like,
Yeah. Well, and you're sending them the prompt, but still, only a few are going to actually do it.
Yeah, it's true. But one of the things that you can do is, you see your clients, you can always, when they come in, I'm always like, this is how you follow through. Follow up is key to anything, any endeavor. So they come in and you're like, hey, you just had a birthday. And they're like, yeah. And you're like, did you write me a review? Did you refer me as a stranger? And they're like, oh, no. And you're like, oh, I really wanted to give you 50% off today. Well, next month, if you do it, I'll extend it to next month. Go ahead and do it. I'll extend it. Write me a review. And they're like, I'll do it right now. You're like, don't do it here. Go home and do it.
Yeah.
But
Smart.
take a picture here right now so you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they can use their own image. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's really important that when they do write you that review and they review a stranger, to give them the discount, they have to show you it on their phone, the review showing on Yelp. Because if their review doesn't show, they're not actually reviewing a stranger for you. They're not referring a stranger for you.
Right.
And
but
I wrote it, but it's not showing. You're like, I know, Yelp is the mafia. They're the worst.
So wait, have you ever had somebody write a review and it didn't show up and you didn't give them?
Yeah.
Because
it's not showing. If it's not showing, I can't. You're not referring me a stranger. You don't have a review showing.
But it's something that's completely out of their control.
It's not my problem. They're not referring me a stranger. I'm going to ask them to go write me a review somewhere else.
Then they don't get any of the goodies? It's a hard bargain, man.
Refer me a stranger, my friend. Refer me a stranger.
Ruthless is what's happening here.
This is how this works. If you write me a review, but that review is now on Yelp and it's hidden. So I don't care if you take that exact same review and put it on Google or you put it somewhere else. Makes no never mind to me.
Mm-hmm. Although maybe, they didn't write it in a document, so they don't remember. So there's going to be writing.
But they can go onto their Yelp. They can go onto their Yelp and they can find it in their history. It's up in their reviews. They see it. It's just not showing on the page. It's not showing on like if you have to show it to me on the page, I have to be able to find it and see it, and that's how it works. I have to be able to find it and see it. I am because you're referring me a stranger. If you can't refer me a stranger, it's not a referral. Alex, how many names do you give out to people to come see me and they don't see me? Do I give you free things for every person? You're like, still, I sent you a person. I'm like, well, I haven't seen that person yet.
Yeah, I know, but I don't expect any free stuff from that. But I understand if it's not. To play the Yelp game, it's not just the thought that counts. We actually need results. And
we need results. This is advertising dollars at work.
Yeah.
This is how your advertising dollars are at work. Now, if you be like, well, thanks for writing that review. And you know what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to give you like this other like concession thing. But if you want that 50% off, I need this review to show up somewhere. You should try your luck with Google. They're not nearly as mean as Yelp.
Mm-hmm. Which Google reviews are getting more prominent.
Google reviews are awesome too. They're fantastic. Though very few people are like, I check Google for everything.
No.
But when people search, Google reviews will come up and Yelp reviews will not.
Yes. All right. So speaking of reviews and stuff, what about bad reviews or even good reviews? Like, should we be responding to reviews on our Yelp page?
So you have to have a policy, and Alex loves policies. So your policy is whatever your policy is. So make a choice. My policy is I actually don't read my reviews. So therefore I don't respond to reviews. The only time I have a review that I look at is when a client is like, oh my God, Sybil, I was on your page and I saw your review. And do you know that they said this? And the reason why I look at that review is because I do believe that there's a kernel of truth to be found in every review, even a bad review, that you should learn from. Otherwise, I don't pay any attention to my reviews because they just make me crazy. And I don't like to be crazy. But you should know that if you have reviews that you want to respond to, you respond to every good review and every bad review across the board. It makes no difference. So responses are respond to every review or respond to no reviews. Mm-hmm. That is how you handle bad reviews. Mm-hmm. Respond to good reviews. Thank you so much for this review. We love hearing from you. Mm-hmm. Or you respond to no reviews at all. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, responding to bad reviews is terrible and horrible and very hard. So if you don't think you can, without being emotional, don't respond to reviews.
So I mean, 100%.
I'm amazing at responding to reviews. Alex will tell you, I don't respond to my own reviews.
So fascinating. Okay, so what would you do in this situation? We used to go to a hairstylist who this person came in and she got like bad vibes right off the bat. And this stylist kind of ignored the bad vibes, went forward with this haircut. And then the person went home and, according to the hairstylist, like literally butchered her hair. She's like, that is not what her hair looked like when she left the salon. I did not do that. And this person then posted those pictures up on Yelp and gave her an awful, awful review. So like, what do you do in a situation like that where someone's just like straight up lying on your Yelp page? Oh, and then the reviewer also went and got all of their friends to come and say that, yes, this is useful to push it up higher in the algorithm.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I mean, I've had that happen. I can tell stories as well. You respond to all your reviews or you respond to none of your reviews.
So do you just start responding then? Or like, I guess it's a choice, right?
You make a choice. Are you going to start responding to all of your reviews or none of your reviews?
Mm-hmm.
You have to make a choice. At that point, if you feel that you need to respond to that review, you go back and you start responding to every single review that you have. And you respond to every review. So that way there is a response to every single review.
Yeah.
Because there needs to be a response to all reviews or no reviews.
Yeah. I think the hairstylist tried to call Yelp and be like, take this down.
They will not do it.
They will
never
not take
do
it down.
it. The only time I've had Yelp handle a situation for me was when I had a restraining order against some Yelp person, which I've told that story before.
Oh, snap.
I will put it up here.
Okay, we'll link to it. All right, so I think we, at this point, have a strong, solid foundation for how to beat the Yelp, I almost said YouTube, the Yelp algorithm, and to get our reviews on there. We have our marching orders. Let's go out and strategically and mindfully prompt our clients to give us some reviews.
Yes.
And let's win the game, because you absolutely can win the game. You just got to get in there and play it. So we definitely want to hear from you. Like, what's been working? Do you have Yelp horror stories, reviews? Do you respond? Let us know. Everything Yelp related, okay, or review related. So you can find the show on Instagram. We're at Skinfessional. You can find Sybil at Your Skin Fitness Expert, and I am at Holla for Mala. Or you can give us a call and leave us a message in our Skinfessional box.
Our number is 818-473-5277. So everyone, this has been fantastic. It's important that you know just to get your Yelp out there, because
do it.
I mean, there might be the devil, but they're also the devil you want to know and be friends with. Yeah. So until next week,
keep your secrets to yourself.
Unless you're telling us.
Okay, bye.
Bye.